Star Wars Squadrons is going to be a Star Wars game like no other, but I think there are a few key things this game needs to get right if it's going to be memorable and successful. The game needs to be fun, have a good level of replayability, have a deep layering of customization options and ship upgrades, if it's going to keep us coming back over and over again. Already we've seen lots of what the game has to offer in the reveal trailer, a wide range of capital ships, starfighters, and a very small taste of what gameplay will actually be like. So today, I want to take a look at some of the bold decisions the developers made when building this game, such as the fact that it's going to be VR and only first person, and talk about some of the details in the game you might have missed, which I think could make Star Wars Squadrons the Star Wars game we've all been waiting for. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. This game wants to give you the experience of actually sitting behind the controls of a starfighter and understanding what it's like to be a fighter pilot in either the New Republic or Empire. I mean, that's why they set out to make it a Star Wars VR experience. That's why the game has VR support. Motive Studios have the intention of creating the most immersive starfighter game ever made, and if the game lives up to what they're promising, I think we have reason to believe it could be the most memorable Starfighter game we've ever played. I think it's also going to take VR to a whole nother level. Never before have we seen such a big Star Wars VR project. I mean, sure, we had Vader Immortal, we had the X-Wing VR project from 2015, Star Wars Battlefront. I don't think they're quite the scale of this game though, even though this game isn't going to be massive. Star Wars Squadrons is kind of like a passion project for the developers at Motive. Ian Fraser, the creative director of Motive Studios, said in a press release, "We created this game for every Star Wars fan who ever dreamt about soaring across the galaxy in their favorite starfighter. Through the collaboration of teams at EA Motive and Lucasfilm, we've been able to create a high-fidelity starfighter experience with an authentic storyline that invites Star Wars fans to explore never-before-seen corners of the galaxy in their own ship." So based on this, it kind of feels as if the ship you fly will be your character. And one thing that's got me really excited about this game is the customization options it's going to have. Star Wars Squadrons will offer rich cosmetic and gameplay customization options with rewards and bonuses that are earned solely through gameplay. That's really great that there's not going to be any microtransactions that affect gameplay. You'll earn everything in the game. As players move up the ranks, they earn components such as weapons, hulls, engines, and shields to customize the performance of their starfighter and gain cosmetic items to customize their cockpit, ship interiors, and appearance of their pilot. So that's pretty interesting. You'll be able to customize not only the exterior of the ship, but also what's on the inside in the cockpit. Hopefully you'll be able to do things like change the seat color and material, maybe equip different joysticks, joystick colors, different button colors, even different screen colors would be cool. It'll be interesting to see how much customization is actually available in the game. Or if it's going to be like going to the mechanic in GTA 5 and you can customize all the different parts of your car. There's actually a mechanic we see in the trailer. You can actually see the Rebel pilot talking to either a mechanic or an engineer as she gets into her starfighter. So I think ship customization could potentially go quite deep. If you go to the Steam store and look up Star Wars Squadrons, first of all, it's great to see EA expanding their games to other platforms and not just limiting PC players to download the game on Origin. Star Wars Squadrons is available on Origin, Steam, and the Epic Games Store on PC, as well as PS4 and Xbox One. But no mention of next gen yet on PS5 and Xbox Series X. If the game is successful and has a good release, we could possibly also see it released on the new platforms, but we'll see. But anyway, the Steam store has given us a few pre-order bonus customization options. We've got the New Republic Recruit flight suit, which seems like it will be epic rarity, and the Imperial Ace flight suit also epic rarity. I'm assuming the rarities in the game will be kind of similar to Battlefront 2's system, and these colored starfighters look incredible. We have a blue and white themed A-Wing, X-Wing, Y-Wing, and U-Wing, and then yellow and black TIE Interceptor, Fighter, Bomber, and Reaper. These are the New Republic Recruit starfighter skins and the Imperial Ace starfighter skins. And then there's also these two decals, which I'm assuming you'll be able to put on your ship and perhaps on your pilot's helmet. The New Republic Recruit decal and Imperial Ace decal. I'm really curious if ship customization is going to be a matter of just selecting an entire entire skin for the ship, or if you'll actually have more control over the color layout and be able to actually design your own ships, different designs you can get from the cockpit interior, and some finer details would be great. Like I said, GTA style, we need that. Johnny on the spot. I think it's quite a bold choice. Star Wars Squadrons is going to be an entirely first-person experience. At least that's what it seems to be at the moment. Gameplay seems to be locked to the interior of the cockpit, and there's been no mention of third person. I think this is definitely going to divide some people, and some people might not be happy with the first-person experience. They might feel motion sickness, and will be interesting to see what the camera control is like in the cockpit, and if you'll be able to actually look around even if you're not playing in VR. I know in Battlefront 2 Starfighter Assault, a lot of people also struggled with collisions while playing in first person, and not being able to see asteroids flying past, not understanding the full width of the ship, or just being able to kind of get a sense of that. But I think this decision will also make the game less gamey and more on the simulation side, which when it comes to Starfighter gameplay, I think is a good thing. It seems Star Wars Squadrons will be much less basic and arcadey than Battlefront 2 Starfighter Assault. Locking the camera to the cockpit will encourage more strategy, and in terms of multiplayer, I think this could be a really good thing for increasing immersion and not necessarily just being killed as soon as you spawn in. You'll actually be able to play as a team, work with your squadron, go after objectives, taking down capital ships, and what we see at the end of the Star Wars Squadrons trailer, I think is probably the best representation of multiplayer we currently have. You can see on the little map in the bottom left of the cockpit, the main capital ship in the distance and 2 support ships on the sides, as well as your squadron and the ships you're protecting. Seems like you'll be approaching the enemy ships from a distance and trying to employ your team's tactics, and this is how you'll spawn in and how the match will begin. The briefing room will also play a major role in how gameplay works, and you'll be planning each assault before you even climb into the cockpit. So the combined elements of the briefing room and the first-person perspective, I think will push the game more towards the simulation side of Starfighter and dogfighting games. This is exciting. This is a good thing. And I quite like that they decided to tell a story from both perspectives of the New Republic and the Empire. It's an interesting time period in the Star Wars timeline that they've decided to go for right after the destruction of the second Death Star at Endor, which I guess is kind of the same time as Battlefront 2 storyline takes place. Also, for anyone wondering, I really can't see there being any side switching in this game for the main characters of the story. No one's going to do a 180 and switch to the New Republic and vice versa. I think they've learnt their lesson with that one. And you're going to experience both sides and the differences in what they're fighting for. We saw this in the trailer with both the Imperial and New Republic commanders giving their speeches.
You are the Empire's strength.
Remember why we fly.
There's a good separation here, and you'll play through that. I think also the fact the game will feature crossplay is quite impressive. Crossplay will be supported on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and VR, and you'll be able to squad up with friends across all different platforms, which is really impressive. I'm also curious if playing in VR actually gives you an advantage, if you'll have more control over where you're looking around your cockpit, you can see more of your ship, be able to dogfight more successfully, understand your boundaries, understand the size of the ship, maybe even see enemies behind you and loop around. I don't think there's ever been a Star Wars game that's been capable of this type of crossplay, and this should really assist with keeping a very healthy, active player base down the track. It's great news for the game. You will always be playing across all platforms. So hopefully 3, 4, 5 months into the game's release, there won't be any empty lobbies. One thing I think Star Wars Squadrons is going to need to do really well is the replay factor. Being able to enjoy the gameplay match after match without it getting too stale. This will be super important for this game's longevity and making people want to come back and play it over and over again. Starfighter Assault in Battlefront 2 I think is a great game mode, although it did suffer from some balancing issues. There were matches you'd play where it'd be completely one-sided and the battle would be over in 2 or 3 minutes, and then other maps where you'd end up playing a match that lasts 15 minutes. But after playing this game mode for an hour or so, personally, I kind of grow tired of it, and once I've been through the full map rotation, what are they, like 5, 6, 7 Starfighter Assault maps? You've kind of seen it all, and I'm good to put it down for a while and not come back. So for Star Wars Squadrons, the deep level of customization, the game's tactics, and the actual gameplay mechanics are what will impact this game's replayability. If Star Wars Squadrons does all of these things well, it will make you want to come back over and over again, and gameplay will stay fresh. Now let's talk briefly about the price of this game. We've known for a while it's going to be a slightly smaller Star Wars project than perhaps a Battlefront 2 or a Jedi Fallen Order, and that's also reflected in the price of this game. It's $40 US. For a game that's going to feature both a single player and multiplayer component, this seems like a good deal, but let's just hope it's not also indicating a lack of content. It seems at the moment each faction will only have 4 pilotable starfighters, and even though these will be fully customizable, I'm sure so many of us want to see more Star Wars ships brought into the game. I saw some people talking about the B-Wings, other Rebel ships, and even other TIE class ships that could potentially be added to the game. And if this is a cheaper game at launch, we could be seeing some DLC down the track with additional cosmetic items, new maps even would be cool, new ships, character customization, just to keep the game fresh. I mean, it'd be great if these were free updates for the game and perhaps had some microtransactions in the game where you could buy some cosmetic items perhaps, kind of like what Battlefront 2 did with Celebration Edition, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. More ships and planets would be amazing though. And a couple of really cool things I think were included in the trailer that I'm really glad are in the game, and hopefully there'll be lots more of these as well. Seeing Wedge Antilles flying his X-Wing, and I'm assuming you'll also be able to fly alongside him in a squadron, is a dream come true. When I think of X-Wings and starfighter pilots, the first name that comes to mind is Luke Skywalker, and the second is Wedge. And it'll be interesting to see if Dennis Lawson, the actor who played Wedge in all the Star Wars films, will be returning to voice Wedge in this game. That'd be amazing. Fun fact, Dennis Lawson is actually Ewan McGregor's uncle. There you go. Also, seeing Hera Syndulla in the game is lots of fun. I always love when we get these video game cameos. I'm also really excited to see how squad composition and ship customization play their role tactically in Star Wars Squadrons. It'll be interesting to see what ships have an advantage over others, whether it's better off going with a stronger, more tanky ship, or perhaps a ship with more powerful weapons, but with very little in shields, and whether using all of the same ship will still get you the win in multiplayer. I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to just go in with a full squadron of X-Wings or a full squadron of Y-Wings and play out these fantasies in the game, but that might also give you a tactical disadvantage. So squad composition and the ships your squad decides to take with them will be key to your team securing victory, and I hope the game deals with this well. This is another element that I think will play into this game's longevity and success. Replayability will also be great if each ship feels very unique. I mean, it's kind of built as a class system. I guess the X-Wing is kind of the all-rounder, then the A-Wing is very aggressive, Y-Wing is a bomber, and then the U-Wing is more of a support ship. And in terms of customization, particularly for the Rebels, I hope there's a good range of astromech droids we can choose to take with us in our X-Wings and Y-Wings. Hopefully astromech customization will also be a part of this game, and you'll be able to form a bond with your astromech droid and have some banter with them during gameplay. That'd be amazing. Star Wars Squadrons is being created out of passion for Star Wars by the developers. If the game is fun, encourages replayability, and features a deep level of strategy and customization, it could be the most memorable Starfighter game ever. So guys, what do you think about this? Based on everything we know so far, are you excited about Star Wars Squadrons? And what do you think about the game being locked to first person only? Does this bother you? Are you okay with this? Let me know in the comments. We're going to see gameplay for Star Wars Squadrons in just a few days at EA Play, so once that releases, I'll be making more videos all about this exciting new Star Wars game, so you can stick around for those. But in the meantime, you can check out some of my other videos like this Jedi Fallen Order challenge or Battlefront 2 mods. I'll link those here. And follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and join my Discord to stay up to date with more Star Wars gaming, news, Star Wars Squadrons, and more. And thanks for watching this. My name's Andrew. I'll catch you soon.
Stay bombastic.